Hi, this is Wes with Collier RV. Just going to do a quick walk around of the 2021 Opus OP4, the 4-seater off-road with the air tank on it. So we'll walk around the outside. I'll show you some of the features and benefits of this unit, and we'll take a look inside and go from there. So starting on the outside, you can see that it does have the tropical roof on top to keep the sun off of you. You'll notice it does stay about 6 inches above the main roof itself, so you can still get some airflow in there. All of these windows are zip open. As a matter of fact, the whole front of the unit does zip open and roll up if you really want an open feeling. This is your main control panel. Right here is your key. Without this key, nobody can turn on the 12-volt system in this unit. The battery is completely disconnected from it. You turn it on, and you have your main row of switches here. I had a heck of a time figuring out what this little coffee cup was for. As it turns out, it's for a little 12-volt output right out here by the kitchen. Apparently in Australia, they like making coffee out here, so they figured, you know, hey, let's put a coffee cup on it. I flipped this thing on, I was waiting for it to make me a cappuccino. It didn't work out. This second switch here is going to be the switch for your fridge, which we'll take a look at in just a second. The third switch is all of your plugs on the inside of the unit. This switch is going to be your lights inside. There's also a switch in here for some of them, and you will have a dimmer. So that's certainly nice. And then you have 2 water tanks and 2 water pumps on this unit, a total of 63 gallons, I believe. So this is your water pump for this side of the unit. This is your water pump for the rear tank for the other side of the unit. When we walk around the other side, I'll show you what that's very useful for. This does have an exterior hot water shower, which is certainly nice. Up top, you'll see your current voltage, and then this is an amp reading. So right now with some of the lights on and stuff, these switches on, we are pulling 2.7 amps. You have 2 100 amp hour batteries in this unit. So that is useful to see how many amps you're using, and you can multiply that by an hour and see how many amp hours you're using. You have 2 water tanks, so you'll have 2 water level indicators. You see we have some water in the other unit because we're getting this ready for a customer that this is going to be delivered to in Idaho. Over here, this is your pump button, air pump. When we walk inside, I'll show you where the air hooks up to these ribs that hold the walls and the ceiling up on this unit. But that's what that button is. All these buttons are your fuses for the individual switches. This is your main circuit right here. And then you do have a 12-volt outlet out here too. All of these are closable, lockable, stainless steel hinges. Very robust unit, that's for sure. And they're all watertight, weather-tight, which is certainly nice. The stairs fold up and they fold into the doorway when you're going to put it away. Super heavy-duty off-road suspension, full-size tires on this unit. Certainly not typical for something this size, but it is definitely ready for you to pull it just about anywhere you want. Moving on to the kitchen. This is certainly not something you normally find in a unit this size. Full-size, 4-burner, gourmet propane stove, individual knobs. This does have spark ignition. By the way, if anybody's ever wondering how you get the spark, there is a couple of, I believe they're D batteries up underneath here. This drawer pulls out and you can change them out. This does close up, fold in the sides, and then it shuts itself down. Over on this side, you'll have a sink, a little cutting board, nice little drying racks or whatever you'd like to put on them, and then a movable light. See what you're cooking, see what you're doing in the sink, whichever you would prefer. This whole unit does slide into the unit itself when you're about to leave. Right behind it, you'll have a big ARV 12-volt refrigerator freezer unit, and you can see the lights are on because I turned on that fridge switch back over there. Open this baby up. You do have quite a bit of room in there. 1, 2, or 3, I believe, is the compressor speed. So it depends on how much stuff you have in there, or how fast you want it to cool down versus how many amps you're using to do it. A lot of people are taking these out in the middle of nowhere, and they're very concerned about how many amps they're using. And then, of course, temperature up and down. This also slides into the unit very simply. With it running, you do have a little fan on the side here and an eyeball there that will turn it on when you have this closed so it doesn't get too hot inside there. You can completely lock this unit and still have your fridge and stuff running while you're out and about off-roading or whatever you would, whatever you're enjoying that day. In the front, there's room for 2 jerry cans, and of course you have your propane, which is going to run your stove and the hot water shower. Nice little wheel crank on here to help you get hitched up. And this does fold up out of the way for when you're ready to go. This does have trailer brakes on it, so you'll have a 7-pin plug, which is kind of standard in the industry when you have trailer brakes. Lock and roll hitch. This hitch is designed to move around up and down, side to side. And it's essentially for, if you're taking this thing off-road, it needs to be able to move around with you. Again, big, unzippable windows. Certainly nice. On the other side, if you get air conditioning, this is where the onboard AC unit would be. This particular unit does not have the air conditioner in it. So, if I can get it open, there we go. In its place, you get a nice, heavy-duty, all this stuff. This is cast aluminum, seriously overbuilt. And right now, we're storing some of the accessories that come with the unit. But certainly a nice drawer, that's for sure. Power inputs. This is your rack. This will fold down over the top of the unit when it's all closed up. And you can put your kayaks or your bicycles or anything that you want to take with you. As I mentioned, on the other side, it does have dual water tanks, and they are locked. Nobody can mess with your water. So big storage for this unit. This is your exterior shower. It is a hot water shower. Plugs right into the onboard storage tanks themselves. And then, of course, you get a shower head. You can also take the output from this and plug it into the other outlet, and it will come out by the kitchen. So you can have hot water in your kitchen, too. And then your typical exterior little shower. On this unit, it is usually used as a cold water shower. But nevertheless, that comes on all of them. Very nice. While we're on this side, I'll show you real quick. These are your air valves. So for each rib, you'll have 1 valve. There's 5 of them. So when you're putting this up and taking it down, if I was taking it down right now, I would just unscrew all these and it would let the air out of it, and we could close it up. When you go back to re-inflate it, you screw these back in to make them airtight. You can see underneath you have a full-size spare tire that swings down out of your way. Nice, big, heavy-duty arms holding up your bed. All LED lighting on this unit, inside and outside. Again, it's made for being out in the middle of nowhere and not using a lot of juice while you're doing it. There's a separate zippable door and a screen door. If you prefer to just have the screen door, so you can close this up and keep the bugs out. Right inside the door, smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector. This is your dimmer switch for the lights. And then of course you have the onboard radio, and there are onboard speakers inside, built by Sony, so high quality. There are USB ports inside so you can charge stuff up. Huge wraparound sofa. This table does have foldable legs and can make this into another bed. It fits in between them, and then you have the side cushions that fit on top of it. All of these cushions are removable. Under this side and that side, there is more storage available, and of course you can get to some of the electronics and stuff. Underneath here, right next to your speaker, is your main circuit breaker. So there's traditional, just like you'd have in your house, circuits in there. 2 huge beds, one on either side. More storage on this side. Right now we have it comes with a manual air pump if something were to ever happen. And again, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can still get this thing pumped up and ready to go. NOCO Genius charge controller, so that's keeping track of your batteries. This unit, as I mentioned before, comes with 2 huge 100 amp hour batteries, and that's where those are stored. You do have a little fusible link here, so if something catastrophic ever happens, that you can pop that right back in. Next to it is your onboard compost toilet for when nature calls. And here you can actually see, I mentioned that this whole front wall is unzippable. That's where that zipper is. So you can actually unzip and roll up this entire front wall here. It's really nice if you get one of their very popular accessories called the Air Annex. It's a huge room that comes out and basically doubles the size of this unit. And a lot of people, if they get that Air Annex room, they will keep this zipped up and open, so it's all one big open space. And there you have it. That's the 2021 Opus OP4. Thank you.